It's like I don't know. He was yelling, "They're coming to get me." I'm guessing, and freaking and then the woman was responding by saying, "Bend over, bitch." So
Okay.
it got a little out of hand and rowdy up in there. So the whole thing, the reason why I say that that's suspicious is because that happened, okay, and then the Federal Communications Commission, the FCC,
Yeah.
came in and did a criminal investigation. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And they couldn't find anything out, but it freaking hit national news. You know, so that right there is really suspicious to me. I think it is. You know, um, I really believe that was just a scam. It was a freaking form of propaganda to freaking have it to where the FCC could freaking put stronger regulations on the airways and freaking internet and all that stuff.
Didn't hasn't I don't know the history of the FCC, but it's not as old as the Office of Communication, Ofcom. I mean, Ofcom's been around since I think the 1950s.
Yeah, I don't know about that, to be honest with you. Ofcom.
Yeah, I think they've been around since the 1950s, possibly earlier. No, actually, it'd be post-war because with the Office of Information or something during World War II. So yeah, it'd be in the 1950s. Ofcom's been around. So how long has the FCC been?
Hold up, let me find the date first. I've got it pulled up on the freaking search engine, so I can probably find the date when it was started for Ofcom. Now, no, it doesn't. Managing it's most definitely older than the FCC because it was like we said last night. I mean, the British are freaking anal retentive about regulating shit. You know what I mean?
Some British.
Well, I mean, not really. I had to do it. I had to do it.
Okay.
Now, Ofcom was formed. When was Ofcom established? Is what I should do. Ofcom was established on December 29th, 2003. So it's not. So FCC would have been older than Ofcom.
In its modern form. No, that's in its modern form. What was Ofcom has been known as Office of Communication for a lot longer. That's a modern telephone. The FCC was founded the Communications Act of 1934.
Yeah.
To regulate telephone, telegraph, and radio communications. When was UK Office of Communication formed?
It was Ofcom was formally established on December the 29th, 2003. It was created under the Communications Act of 2003.
Oh yeah. Sorry. The Independent Television Commission, as it was called before.
Right. So it officially as Ofcom in 2003, but it inherited the duties of 5 previous regulators. So I mean, yeah, 5.
Okay. No, but yeah, some of them are older than others. I mean, just saw the Independent Television Commission. That was 1991, but that was a new body that was brought in by the Broadcasting Act of 1990. But yeah, there are over. Unlike unlike the US, at one point we had multiple organisations dealing with television, radio, and telegraph, phone.
Mhm.
Uh,
Now, see, after that, then you come to the 414s. Okay, now these were a group of teenagers from Milwaukee, and this one is even suspicious too, because especially people who get into conspiracy theories, they would really catch on to this real quick. Okay, um, they were they were actually they actually hit national news after they supposedly were tried after they tried to or after they did break into like a dozen of high profile systems, and one of these systems actually was Los Alamos National Labs
yeah.
here in the United States. Freaking Los Alamos is pretty freaking controversial, especially when it comes to the conspiracy theorist community.
Mm.
They talk about Los Alamos quite a bit. And I find it odd that freaking these kids were supposed to have supposedly done this, and a couple of them were arrested, but most of them only got probation from it. Okay,
Okay.
so they broke into freaking the Los Alamos National Lab Systems and ended up getting away with it with only probation.
Yeah.
I don't see that as happening. Now maybe they might have gotten like restrictions away from the computer for the rest of their lives or some shit, or 20 years or whatever.
But I would need to know each individual case.
Right. I wouldn't take it off of a blanket statement because I
Mm.
really, I mean, because even when you look at it like that, did they really get banned from the computer until they were like 35? I mean, that's shit that you see in Hollywood on television.
But at the time, there was no law stating that as a punishment, you were getting banned from a computer.
Right. Cause yeah,
That's a recent phenomenon.
and that yes, exactly. Now, between 1984 and 86, sporadic arrests of individuals and hacking collectives like Legion of Doom and Master of Deception. They were two of them that were big. Now, I've mentioned this before. I'm gonna mention it again. I actually freaking really love these two because freaking they actually were named two heavy metal bands that I really liked when I was growing up was
Yeah.
named after them. So I did know about them. If you're a heavy metal, hardcore heavy metal fan like I am, yeah, I am into punk rock too, but I love heavy metal too, like real heavy
Yeah.
metal. You know,
Yeah.
and these were the two bands that you knew about. You didn't just know about, you knew about the history of the name, everything. So I was aware of them. Um, Now with them though, it was just like sporadic arrests and stuff like that. Uh, it was just a group, you know what I mean, that did these things. There was nothing big about them. At the time, I was probably naive. Now I look back at it and I'm like, man, this stuff is probably just stuff that was being used as propaganda so they could bring out the frickin' CFAA, which is the computer.
CFO.
Yeah, that in 1986 they came out with the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act,
Okay. Okay.
and that's where I'm getting at it with is they wanted to come out with frickin' a law that comes down on people for frickin' not following certain rules, breaking the law, and being hoodlums.
We got to protect society at large.
Well, I mean, the whole history behind it is really a lot more suspicious than what I thought it was. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I mean, it really is. It just like the whole thing about hacking is just really, really suspicious. Okay, so we got through We made it to the Computer Fraud Act of
Hmm.
1986 here in the United States. Uh,
87.
was it 87?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, with all the stuff that I mentioned about these early hackers, what do you think about that? I mean, what's your take on all of that, and also
What's my
stuff,
take on all
and
that?
like if you want to like mention like stuff, your thoughts about ARPA and DARPA.
I think I've already told you my thoughts about Arbor and Darba, what stupid names they are. Um,
Hold up, so still.
what's my thoughts about white collar crime? People go to prison.
Yeah, but I mean, I personally don't
Uh,
believe a lot of that happened. To be honest, though, like
there will be incidences of again, without looking at any single court document. I yeah, yeah. You asking me such a broad question again.
because I mean, I know you were like maybe about 4 years younger than I am, but at the
Hmm.
same time, you were still around. I mean, and I don't know if you remember it as well as I do, but it was really, really. I mean, this whole hacking thing was really publicized. That there,
Remember maybe in the US, but I'm in the UK.
well, you guys are even worse than we are. I'm pretty sure if you looked hard enough, you'll find a lot of.
Like I probably would find something might jog my memory, but yeah, it was in I don't know 86, 87. 86 I would be 10 years old. 87 I'd be 11. Yeah, so yeah.
You'd
Uh,
been watching the cool stuff too. That would have been
uh,
highlighting the whole kids freaking hacking the system kind of
uh,
shit. You know what I mean? It would have been aimed at your generation specifically because I remember it was all aimed towards my generation. You know what I mean? It was, oh, look at these kids out there stealing money from ATMs and stuff, and
I
it
don't
was.
think I've ever. No, I've never stolen money from an ATM.
I've never met a person who's done it ever.
Okay.
See it on TV plenty of times growing up.
Uh, Probably more extremely a lot more common, especially in the UK at the moment. I do come across reports every couple of months.
Yeah, but are they true? That's the big question. You know what I mean? Or is it
Newspaper, mainstream media.
is it just like spin? And
It
well, I mean, it's like freaking. You'll hear a lot of people who believe in UFOs talking about freaking disclosure. Okay, they want to know about freaking aliens. We need to know about aliens. Are they real? Are
is.
they real? But this is the kind of stuff that needs to be added into it too. You know what I mean? Was any of this real, or was it just freaking a spin, a form of propaganda, so that they could get regulations put into place? You know,
I believe there has been some good cases that caused regulation to come in.
I've found absolutely nothing to back that up.
Again, I would have to look at every single case to make a conclusion.
As a matter of fact, they said
Everything.
they said that there was a handful of arrests. Um, and there's no official or reliable statistics from law
Yeah,
enforcement.
yeah, because the data wasn't being collected at the time.
You know, now it's safe to estimate though that only a handful of people were arrested.